The storm is all around us. Our world is currently filled with turmoil. Mankind is currently being tested, stretched in a sense, to fill an evil and corrupt agenda. In the United States, the lead up to the polarized, two separate dominating parties is coming to a head. Behind the scenes, an even more so diabolical plan is taking place. The separation of the poor and the rich increases at an exponential value. Families struggle to provide and give just basic food necessities to their children. Our world faces a storm of a monstrous proportion as everything unravels and falls from the threads. My question to you is, where will you stand? Will you allow your freedoms, your basic rights to be tread upon, because they're being tread upon right now? Corrupt governors leading in the United States and abroad impose lockdowns and shutdowns that shut down small businesses. These small businesses, which are the backbone of the United States, face an uncertain future and are just attempting to stay afloat. An article released by Payments.com, a popular investment guide site, revealed in a statement where the Federal Reserve is allowing certain bank directors and shareholders the ability to apply for the PPP loans. The PPP loan stands for Payment Protection Program, the bill that was recently sponsored and funded by Congress to keep small American businesses afloat. It blows my mind how the big businesses can get into the loan that was meant just for the small business American people. But don't worry, the money's already gone. You can't even tap into it. It's apparent to me that unless you are a friend of the big banks and a big business, small local businesses will never be able to tap into the pathetic $250 billion originally intended for the small business's survival. How does a $2 trillion bill, one that they showed all over the news and they broadcasted all around, one that they rushed to get passed because the American people just had to have it, how does this bill that was so vital and important only allow for 1/10 of it to be used to finance the small guy? Why is it that these large banks have profited and abused the financial system? They are allowed to tap into this money. The Fed dumped $6 trillion into different parts of the economy, including the bond market, trying to keep it afloat and inflate this impossible bubble that is eventually going to just blow up. Will you ever see any of this money? Will you see that $6 trillion? Will you see any amount of money? Ha! You won't see any of that money. The Federal Reserve, this private bank with all the power of the money, is not your friend. Yet we submit to them and allow them to control our every life. The Fed impacts every single American, including you, whether you want to believe it or not. They direct your future and your path. Protests are breaking out left and right, demanding for the economy to reopen, demanding to get back to work. Many understand that we live in a flawed system of monetized polarity. The destruction that is facing our economy is astronomical. It's coming. The destruction of our economy is coming. The Fed and these banks have misconstrued, misguided, abused their power. I remember in 2008 many conservative movements declaring that we were only kicking this debt can down the road to eventually re-meet it with our ultimate demise. And guess what? Here it is. I have followed lots of statistics and I had a feeling that a crash was going to come in 2020. Little did I know that it would also include a pandemic that would hustle it along. All around us, the fabric of life is falling apart. Mortgage companies and banks will soon cry for help from the Fed and the government. Big oil, who has screwed Americans at the pump, making billions off of the pocketbooks of hard-working, poor and middle-class families, will be calling for help. Will they be bailed out? They will give the money to the upper class to pay back their loans, but screw the middleman, screw the low man. Here's $1,200, go take it. Enjoy your $1,200 that can't hardly pay rent. The rich refused to allow our economy to reset in 2000, and gee, I wonder why. In 1929, when it reset, people jumped out of buildings. Too big to fail, they cried. Many of us have lived paycheck to paycheck, with unfair opportunities, poor pay, and a flawed view of life, a flawed sense of life. Now they have forced us out of work, forced us out of our livelihood, and derailed our future path. Sickness or not, if we do not stand up for our right, this tyranny will continue. Americans will feel the hurt. Do you fear death when you drive your car? Do you fear death when you're caught out in the middle of a lightning storm? Do you fear death when it's so cold you cannot move your hands? Death is all around us. Many battlefields and wars that American soldiers fought had 100% death rate. They understood the danger that lay in front of them, but they died for the freedoms that we enjoy. People all around the world live in tyranny of their governments, who can impose laws and restrictions on the people at any time. They can destroy you if you are not a cog in their engine, a sheep of their message. The United States of America was the difference. The United States of America said, no, our people will not be oppressed. We will make our own destiny. I'm sick and tired of sheeple. I am sick and tired of people that lay down. Where will you be? Will you be the difference and stand up for what our forefathers fought for? What they died for and bled for?